Just don't ask me to sit there. Good evening, Little Wonders. They've taken the little out, but not tonight. We're the Little Wonders. So, by show of hands, how many of you were in the band? Oh, whoa. Yeah, there you go. Good showing. I've asked several people tonight, how many people did we have in the band? Nobody can remember. 300. All they can say is we had 4 buses. But I'm sure you'll all agree that we had a great experience being in the band. We competed in Bristol for several years, marched in the Christmas parades in Concord and Kannapolis, marched in the Thanksgiving parade in Charlotte, played at the Shrine Bowl in Charlotte, played at the Peach Bowl in Atlanta, not to mention all the football games that we attended and played at home and away. And finally, we marched in 3 Mardi Gras parades in New Orleans in '72. Now, I would say those were great experiences, and our community supported us in every way. See, there's community calling right now. But today's Brown Band is much smaller. If you've been out to any football games or in any parades, they are small. There are about 60 of them. But their enthusiasm is just as big as ours was. And they're just as competitive as we were. In fact, they're competing this weekend in Cameron. They're competing in Cameron, North Carolina for the Marching Festival. But they also have a beginner's band. Beginner's band is made of 40. And when we were in band, we started in the 5th grade. And now they've changed it a little bit, where they still have a 5th grade beginner band, but they have an opportunity for students that missed out on signing up in band in the 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade. So when they get to high school, they really would like to play music and play an instrument. So they have a beginner's band for high school. So those are kids that want to learn to play music, but they don't have instruments for various reasons. So what I thought about this summer is, how can we help? And I thought, well, we've got the reunion coming up. I can reach out to our classmates and see what we can do to provide help for those students. So I placed a flyer on each table, a couple of them. I only had 2 for each table, so if you'd like, take your cell phones out, take a picture. But these are ways that our class can help the band, help those that don't have instruments. As noted on here, you can contribute online, any monetary donation. You can mail a check, or you can donate an instrument. And it doesn't necessarily have to be an instrument. It could be anything musically related. It could be a music stand, or it could be an amplifier or a soundboard. Just something that kind of think of the non-traditional ways of being in the band. Anything music. So if you want, and if you don't have any of these items, maybe your church or any community organization you're a member of may have some of these things. So take a look at it, see what you can do. If you do have those items, email Brent Messenger. He's the band director. His email's on the bottom of this, and he would be glad to coordinate that. So let's make class 72 the first class to make a collective effort to help your band. Thank you, and go Little Wonders.
Well, over the last 50 years, I've got a lot of miles. I've averaged 50 5,000 miles a year driving, going place to place. Always coming back to Kannapolis, there was only one person that sort of kept me in touch with all y'all. And I'm pretty sure it's the same person who probably kept up with all y'all too, and kept us all in touch. My first award that the committee gave me the okay to give out states, A.L. Brown High School, class of 72, Communicator Award, presented to my buddy Charles Reed. Where is he? I got the okay from the committee to do this. For always. No, you weren't.
You're gonna get a haircut, John.
I just got one.
Yeah, not like I'm going through that.
Here it is. For always keeping all of us in touch over the years. I know he wasn't expecting that one. Now the next one, you've already heard a little bit about this guy. But I tell you what, I've even got a picture of him over there with his little funny little hat on and sitting on the sidelines, I think. This next award is A.L. Brown High School Class of 72 Coordinator Award. We've already talked about it quite a bit. Presented to Tim Jung for all his dedication and many hours of work toward our big event reunion. Say something to us now, brother.
Are you done?
I'm done.
All right, okay. You know, the last 50 years, well, actually the last 20 years, social media has become a big item. And Facebook, I didn't know about it, but then I got on Facebook and I have reconnected with so many people. A lot of classmates here. I have made contacts with music writers that were, I heard a piece of music that I thought was just incredible, and who wrote that, and where did that come from? Kenny Rogers recorded one of these songs that I'm speaking of, and I thought, well, does anybody else ever recorded that? And so I Googled the name and Googled the song, and nothing came up but the guy that wrote the song. So I sent the guy that wrote the song a message through Facebook Messenger. I was talking with him in 10 minutes, so about that song. That's just one example of how the good things happen with Facebook. But in making those connections, I also reconnected with Randy Brown, Randy Joe Shooping, if y'all remember Randy Joe. And I started learning about her Camp New Hope. And I think I put out something a couple of years ago that why don't we try to do something to support Randy's camp and her efforts. So nothing really happened, but then as the reunion came around, I thought we still need to do something in the way of a purpose. So let's see if we can support Randy. So I put this in front of the committee, and they were very, very receptive. So Randy, your work, it takes a special heart for the work that you do. I'm not still her thunder, but I'm just gonna let her come up in here and tell you about it. And if you feel so led to support her in this effort, her operation, then that would be awesome. So she's got a table over here. We're gonna be running some photos over there. You'll be able to see that. We've got a piece of video here that I'm gonna introduce. And Steve, if you want to, who's back there, gonna lower the lights a little bit. Stop the video. And you're ready.
Okay. Well, welcome to my world. I know a lot of you probably are thinking, why in the world would anybody want to set themselves up for such heartache? First of all, I'm a crybaby, so sorry about that. There's much more joy than there is heartache. in 2006, I met land developers, Mark and Will Atkins, and they asked me if I would make a trip with them up to Ashe County, North Carolina. And so I did, and they drove me to what they call a farm, 160 acres on the New River, and they said, Randy, this is what we would like to do. We would like to start a camp for children who are either terminally ill or have a life-threatening illness. And we want it to be a 501c3. We want to furnish all their food, all their entertainment, and all their lodging. And we don't want to charge them a dime. And we want you to run that camp for us. And I thought, I'm not sure if I'm up for this, but how can you say no to something like that? And I'd never done anything like that. I had worked for Dr. James Peckinpah for nearly 20 years, so I did have a little bit of medical background. But I went to my church, and I told the guys at the church, Central Baptist Church in Kannapolis, and I said, I need plumbers, I need electricians, I need painters, I need carpenters, I need women who are not afraid to get dirty, because there's an old farmhouse that we're gonna make a lodge in Glendale Springs for children, and it's been shut up since 1975. Well, I was amazed at how many people came forward. Mark and Will Atkins had the money, they didn't have the time. We had the time, didn't have the money. So those two things meshed, and 8 weeks later, we opened Camp New Hope, and that was 18 years ago. And since that time, we host 40 families every year of children who either have a life-threatening or terminal illness. And those children, once they're selected, they get to bring 10 family members with them, and we furnish all their food and do their cooking for them, and we go fishing with them. We're located right on the New River. There's books over there that show a lot about the camp. I didn't bring them all, but there's about 6 or 7 books over there. And Tim said he had taken some pictures off of our Facebook page and put on there. So I have been the director of Camp New Hope for 18 years. And we're on 160 acres. And we have a 5-bedroom lodge that sleeps 10 people. And so each child gets to bring 10 family members up. And for the week, we have musicians that come out and sing. We have a gentleman that has a train that we take them on a train ride. We've got 3 RTVs or side-by-sides that we go through the mountains, and they get to drive those on the trails. We have a custom-made golf cart with Bluetooth that we can put the wheelchairs on. And they fish, they swim, they go tubing down the river. And if the child is in a wheelchair, we even have a special raft that we can put them in and put pillows and blow up things around them to make sure that they enjoy the ride down the river. And we will do whatever we need to do to make that child have a good time for that week, because a lot of these children we won't see again. But once they're selected to come to Camp New Hope, the unique thing about it is they get to come back year after year until they succumb to their illness, which is good for them and good for us too, because we become all like family. But sad when we get that phone call saying that they passed. This year's been an especially tough year. Since July, we've lost 4 children, and one as soon as 2 weeks ago. So it's, you know, it's a job. It's not a job. It's a ministry. It's a ministry that I take a lot of pride in getting to be a part of. It is supported solely by Mark and Will Atkins, local churches, local civic groups, and people like you. Nobody receives a salary at the camp. Everybody that works at the camp is a volunteer, and it's a labor of love for each and every one of us. So I'm not going to keep you long. You can get on Facebook, and we've got a website that you can look at. You can look at pictures over here. I'll be here. You can ask me about it, you know. I would like to extend a welcome to every single one of you. We're 2 hours and 15 minutes away, and you don't have to have an invitation to come. You can just come through the gate. If it's shut, open it up and come on in. Drive all the way to the end of the driveway, and somebody will be there. You know, we don't have a whole lot of families coming in November, December, January, February because, to tell you the truth, nobody wants to be in the mountains of North Carolina on the New River in November, December, January, February. We've already had snow this year, and we had 27 degrees yesterday morning. So we have 60 chickens that we take care of, and so we worry about our animals up there too. The children get to do a lot of things. They get to go collect their eggs in the morning for breakfast, so that's something that's always fun to do. But we keep them busy. And we get families, they usually are, get the information about Camp New Hope from churches or off of the internet or support groups from different people. So if you know anybody that qualifies, please go online and pull down an application and send it in. You know, we may be booked, we do have people on waiting lists, but you know, we will eventually get to them. So. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for taking time and listening. And I don't see very well, so I would say it's good to see all of you, but all I can see is a big blur out there. So, but if you come up to me, I'll put my glasses on and I'll look at your tag, and then I'll be able to tell who you are, and I'll say, hey, it's good to see you. So, thank you so much.
If you didn't notice, I kind of changed things around a little bit there, but that's great. So Trent, thank you for your remarks. I don't know if you noticed or not, but I'm going to talk about this in a second. But here's the trophy that the band won in New Orleans. We had it right here, the fourth runner-up. So we'll have this over there at the table, and I might mention that again in a second. So let's see here, Mike did a good job of covering the committee. I will say, again, thank you to Steve Morris for always providing our room, our meeting room. We got dance, we got all of that. Thanks to Randy Sherrill that's providing the DJ services over here tonight. We need to issue a warm welcome to Ann Slaughter Churn for providing our cupcakes over here in the corner. And to Mary Niemer with Two Gals Kitchen and her staff for providing dinner tonight. So let's see here. I'm going to pass this basket around here in a little bit. We did not quite get the numbers we wanted this time here, so we came up a little short on money. And then we need to try to put together a little bit of seed money for the next reunion, which I'm thinking 3 to 5 years. I don't know. We better do it quick though. You know what I'm saying?
So let me just, y'all will just pass that.
All right. Unfortunately, there are classmates that we had that we could not locate. I'm also going to pass this sheet around. I'm just leaving this folder so we didn't get all this stuff. This is a list of the people that we don't know who they are. I mean, we don't know where they are or have any contact information. You might see a name that you know. If you've got any kind of contact information for them, that would be helpful. And
If y'all start that around as well.
we can do that as we eat dinner tonight. So, all right. Okay, here. There are other classmates that we have that aren't with us anymore. I think the number now of our deceased classmates is about 64. And we will have, I don't have it turned on yet, a memorial table over here, and their photos will play. We didn't want to put it up on the big screen this time, but that will be over there if you want to take a look at that. Randy's presentation will be over here. So we've also have a few that traveled a good ways to get here. Dwight Eford was coming, paid his money, got to Columbia, South Carolina, and had some type of something come up, but I got a text message from him today saying that he wasn't gonna be able to be here tonight. So, Mr. White, but he traveled all the way from Alaska to try to get here. Next would be Ann Slaughter. Mary Ann Turner came from California. See, these are our out-of-state guests, or our out-of-state classmates. Terry Smith came from the DC area, Gary Reed from Nashville, Ann Hart from Myrtle Beach, David Yandel and Robert Staley from the Clover and Lake Wiley area. We appreciate y'all making the haul to get here. So anyway, all right. I'm looking out at the crowd. We've been in here a little bit. Maybe it's an age thing, but we're already looking sleepy tonight. Okay. On June 1st, 1972, we all met at the school auditorium to walk across the stage one at a time and receive our diplomas. And 50 years, 5 months, and 22 days later, we gather here tonight to celebrate that evening and remember all the great times that we had in high school. Some that can be talked about and some that are probably better off in the discussion at all. So, we've got tonight ahead of us to talk about all those good times. From the class of 72, we've done really well over 50 years. We've had those in our class that are leaders in the professions, and we've all done very well, really, just to get to this point in life. We all made it through, is my point here. So we have a couple who have become leaders in our community that I'd like to acknowledge. Steve Morris, again, his name keeps popping up. Steve is chairman of the Cabarrus County Commission, for those that you might not know that. Third term, second term is the head? Third term is head, okay? And then Diane Price Berry, if y'all remember Diane, she's not here tonight. I think she's serving her second term on Kannapolis City Council. And if you walk through downtown this weekend and seen what's happened, that was all an effort of a couple of city council members that had a vision to, am I right, Steve? That had a vision to regain control of Kannapolis and its properties and take it forward. And I think they've done just a phenomenal job. I walked around up here with my cell phone camera a couple of weeks ago and taking pictures, and when you see things through the lens of the camera, you see things maybe a little bit differently. And it's really, really awesome. So give me just a second. I'm going to set this up. I'm going to reflect back for just a moment on what Trent was talking about. Let's see. Remember pictures up there? There we are. We should give ourselves a round of applause.
Oh, Lord.
There's our Randy Joe. And Mardi Gras Festival, when we went down there, I think we had the best drum line I've ever heard. That was Tommy Farr and David Hale. Did David Hale make it tonight? Is David back there? There you go. Stand up. Can you stand up, Dave? All right, Tommy. Well, this is our drum line. David came from Tennessee. I probably didn't have him on the list. Carl Patterson was on the drum line, and Keith McClan was on the drum line. So, you might enjoy, I think that's one of our Bristol trips there. And then Trent spoke about buses. And loading buses. Somebody mentioned the banner. Karen, there's your banner. It did get there, and Debbie. Yeah, that's, Karen is with us tonight on the left-hand side, and Debbie's at the same table on the right-hand side. What was that? Okay, who remembers this crowd? And maybe this photo. So, you know, I've got mixed up here. At the end of the ball game, at the end of each game, there was the singing of the Almighty. And then we heard our drum major, Mike Haycock, who couldn't be here yet. He yelled at us, and what did he yell? He yelled, Ready, yell. And then what? B-R-O-W-N. Then there was a simple crash and a boom from the bass drums, and then what did we sing? We sang the fight song, right? So tonight, if you hear somebody yell, ready, yell, you know what to do, right? You stand up, clap your hands, and we know that you can do that. You've already proven now that you've done that. You see, there's method of my madness here, okay? And we sing the fight song. So, let's look on through here. One of those other, the big event was the night of November the 5th, 1971. Everybody knows what's happened. I've already given this away. That was the night that our underdog Wonders went down to Concord. We haven't beaten Concord in 10 years. I think Concord had all the rights to keep the bell forever, but they agreed to play for the 11th year, is the story I've heard. And we came away with a victory. Well, our team came away with a victory from the school. I think we beat them 10-7. And the bell came home. We did this at the 47th, and I thought it would be a great idea. A lot of fun to do it again for those that weren't here, but that was truly a great year. Who remembers this? That's one of my favorite pictures. And I know I've got some folks from Concord here, but what you don't see in that picture is there was a guy by the name of E.Z. Smith that played, and he became really a great coach in this area, great human being. But he was laying on the field, face down, kicking his hands and feet on the field in that defeat. So, but that's the original picture there. You can still see the girl waving at us there. Gonna blow that up a little bit. That's having fun. All right, and there's our captain, and I think that's Carol Davenport, and Carol passed away about 2 years ago. And then I'm not sure, I think that's Barbara Overcash Trot. So, but anyway, all right. So that was a great night, and we want to revisit that. Let's back up here. I'm going to have this flipped. So, okay, That's all I have for tonight. It's time for dinner. Am I forgetting something back there?